Episode 2 of Green Lantern has finally dropped, and it is finally here, and we can finally talk about more Green Lantern again, and I'm so excited because this episode was amazing. It wasn't as good as the first episode, but it did do a great job of setting up the rest of the season. It only went down by like one notch, guys. I promise you, I am still so on board. I'm still so excited by the show. It just didn't excite me as much as the first episode did. But that's cool. There was a lot of lore that went down, so we got a lot to talk about. So let's break it all down. Oh, also sorry for the quieter voice today. My wife's still asleep, and this is really early in the morning for me, so I'm going to be speaking a little bit quieter today. But can we please talk about the Mogo doesn't socialize in the room, because that was insane. I love that reference so much. It filled my heart with so much joy, especially because it is such a massive callback to Green Lantern Emerald Knights and the whole episode about Mogo. Like well, it's not an episode, but the whole like little short story about Mogo, because it's an anthology series, and we got to experience and hear about Mogo and what makes him such an incredible lantern, and the fact that he's a living planet obviously is the tribute to that fact, and it's really, really fun, and I really, really love that piece of lore and that drop. I literally audibly laughed out loud so much, and my wife had to look at me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, it's a Green Lantern thing. You wouldn't understand. I think the biggest payoff for this season is the fact that John doesn't need his ring. I think that's the thing about this episode that really did a great job of setup here, is that John doesn't need a ring to create constructs. It's something that he has developed later on. So the fact that they're already playing with it in such a beautiful, like he kind of just fluked it sort of way, is such an amazing piece of lore. Like he was literally unconscious for a period of time, and the bird was still there when he woke up. Like what a great payoff. And they knew they were going to set it up. I said that in my trailer thoughts and theories video. You can check that out for yourself, because I 100% said that in that video, and I knew that that's what they were going to do. And I'm so glad that we're seeing that in this show, because it means they really are leaning into the John Stewart's lore and backstory there. There is enough there to create and flesh out a great John Stewart story, and we're getting that, which is awesome, and I'm so excited to see that. Now, the other thing we do really need to talk about here is the Manhunter in the room, and a lot of people are already speculating that Zoe is the Manhunter, but that's just too obvious for me. It's like as soon as I saw her like in that one shot in the diner, I'm like, nah, she's the Manhunter. Through and through, she's the Manhunter. But I'm like, no, I don't think it's going to be her. I don't think it's going to be somebody who is just walking around, just doing her thing. I think she's purely there as romance for John Stewart. I don't think she's there for any other reason than that. I think she might end up being an alien and might tie in closer to John and his connection to his love interest in the comic books, whose name I am forgetting, but it could tie in closer to her. However, I actually suspect that the Manhunter is Sheriff Carey, because one, she's in a position of power. Two, she's been building a reputation and building trust amongst the community, so she can have access to wherever she needs to go and whoever she needs to see. And number three, it also stands to reason that she's a detective, so if there is anything that needs to go right, it's not abnormal for her to investigate to figure out what's going on. And four, she's playing friendly with the Green Lanterns. She's trying to buddy up to them so that they don't suspect her as a thing. And she's already dismissing sort of little clues along the way as well, like Hal's time in the hospital, where he was literally the only patient in the hospital building. Like, how much of a red flag is that? Like, come on, you're in a hospital and there isn't any patients at all. Just because it's a quiet town doesn't mean it's going to have zero patients. Bro, you're going to have a lot of old people who's retiring in the old town, and they're going to be going to that hospital daily. So don't tell me that hospital is empty for no reason, because that hospital is empty because it's hiding something to do with like either the Black Stars or something to do with the Black Lanterns, and that's what's down there. So don't you dare try and trick me, sir. Ma'am, Manhunter, you're a Manhunter, and I know you're a Manhunter. And the last thing I truly loved about this episode was not the suit. I still don't like that suit. I don't think I'll ever be on board with that suit, but I am hoping that we're going to get like a constructed suit, because stands to reason John will be able to uphold and have a constructed suit quite easily without any really worries or doubts. He can be unconscious and keep a freaking bird alive, so he can keep a suit going. So I think we're getting a constructed suit. What I'm really, really excited about is episode 3, which jumps us right back into the conversation between Sinestro and Hal Jordan, because we know we're getting that conversation. They already teased that in the trailer, so to see that in episode 3 is going to be really, really exciting. Sinestro is going to be such a big player moving forward, so I'm so excited to see more of that. Already tell that he's manipulating Hal, like when he said that the Manhunters were the second biggest threat, and then he immediately shifts the conversation to John Stewart. It kind of feels like he's implying that John is the biggest threat, and he's trying to twist Hal into thinking that, which means that Hal and John are going to go at it at some point, which once again is what the show set up. So I'm really excited to see that play off, and that pay off later down the track. But the tension between these two characters are incredible. They are the core of the show, and you can see that their dynamic is bouncing back and forth so well much, and I cannot wait to see how it all plays out. I do think John does respect Hal. I just think he's a little bit fed up of the way Hal works and the way Hal acts, and they're very opposite energies in the way that they act and the way that they work. So I am keen to see that play out properly. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always guys, be true to who you are. Alright, peace.